What is up, y'all? I hope that you are all having a wonderful Monday. And honestly, how could you not with this holiday week that is kicked off today? My name is Idara Ekpoh. I am going to be your host slash creative of this next hour. I'm going to be talking to y'all a little bit about self-portraits. If y'all don't already know, I am a portrait photographer based in Phoenix, Arizona. I've been shooting for it actually will be 7 years next month. But a huge component of my work is self-portraiture. And so when I was thinking about what I can talk to y'all about today, what I can provide to you for this giveaway, I thought, let's talk about self-portraits. We're entering a new year, and what better way to enter than with a new self-portrait, a new way to update your resumes, your websites, your social media, etc., and just be ready for whatever you have coming in the next year. So wanting to welcome you guys again. This is our second annual Adobe Live Holiday Week. And like I mentioned, it is filled with a bunch of different giveaways. And so if you've been joining us all day today, you were able to watch a number of different streams. So I'll just let you guys know what those streams are so you can go back and catch them. We had custom wrapping paper with Cody Bear. We also had DIY ornaments with Wade, and he had some really great Christmas music. So I apologize. I don't have any music for y'all today. So you'll just have to deal with my voice, and hopefully it gets soothing enough. And then we just had holiday stickers and cards with Annika. And so really excited to get into what we have planned for today. And if you making sure that you guys also get access to the holiday giveaways, if anybody in the mods can go ahead and drop the link, go ahead and check out all of the different resources that we've all prepared for you. That way you can utilize it. And if you end up posting anything on social media, please use the hashtag Adobe Live Holiday Week 2022. So I would love to see what y'all create, especially if you make some self-portraits. That would be really, really exciting. But let's go ahead and dive into what I have planned for y'all. So as you can see here on the screen, I have a lot of photos of me. I'm gonna just kind of pick and see what photo is calling me out. But really the point is just to, again, we're going to just look at different self-portraits, talk about my process, and how you can utilize self-portraits on your social media, your resumes, etc. And just to give you an example, I did a self-portrait project called Self-Portrait Sunday. So this is something that I love to do. I think as creatives, as photographers, we don't capture ourselves enough. And so I made it a big goal of mine during the pandemic to just capture myself in many different forms. And so you'll see that here. And then we'll talk a little bit about how I shoot my self-portraits, and we'll also touch into the freebie that I have for y'all. So I created a little guide just to talk about how I kind of go about choosing or creating my self-portraits and how you can utilize them as well. So we'll get into that a little bit, but let's go ahead and look at some portraits that we have here. And if y'all have any questions, comments, please drop them in the chat. If I look to my right, it's because I'm just trying to check and see if there's any kind of comments or questions that are popping up. Perfect. So I guess let's go ahead and get started. So I took a number of different self-portraits, and actually in this case, I have two different outfits that I took them in. One was this really cute, I don't think I have a full body photo in this dress. This dress has some really great ruffles down here. I think the lens that I had shot this on was a 50mm lens. And so it was only so far I could put my camera back without, being able to trying to get a full body picture. I wasn't able to because of the lens that I was using. I would have opted for a 35, but I think the 35 that I had was too heavy for my camera and tripod, so it was going to fall over. So I decided, okay, let me just use the 50. But when I'm doing my self-portraits, and this is going to the first tip that I put on the guide, the first thing to always do is to pick your outfit. I like to pick something that I feel confident in. And so whether that is dress, business attire, casual attire. When it comes to my self-portraits, especially portraits that I'm using on my creative side, they tend to not be as there's really no rule book for me. It's just whatever I might be feeling and whatever makes me feel confident. I feel like shows myself. I feel radiant. I feel great in. And so in this case, I have this green dress that I chose. And then I also have this black top here as well. And so the first thing to do is always to go ahead and just figure out what you want to wear. Find something that you find to be, to make you feel really great and confident in. And then the other great thing is that you want to make sure that you are, I personally, and this is, I won't say this is like what everyone should follow. I like to go for solid colors just because they're less distracting. It's clean, especially if you have a solid background, it tends to just overall just look better in my opinion. And so I tend to not wear a lot of patterns, colors, shapes, sizes on my shirts, etc., or whatever I'm wearing. I try to keep it as clean as I possibly can. So in this case, I am wearing this green dress. And I also, another tip is to, if you're shooting in a studio, which all of these shots were shot in studio, is you want to, if you can, and if you're using solid color backdrops, I love to play with color. I think that color is one thing that as creative, for me as a creative, I love to play around with. So I always love to let color be a huge component of my work. And if I'm introducing color, I love the color to complement whatever I'm wearing. So green and pink are complementary colors. And so I had the green dress. When I went in the studio, I saw they had a pink backdrop and bam, that's what kind of led to this image here. And so that's another step there is like, once you figure out your outfit, kind of plan for your setup. Are you going to be shooting in studio? Are you going to be shooting on location somewhere? Usually all of my self-portraits, if you go back to my website or Instagram, you'll see that I usually have solid backgrounds, just again, so I don't have anything that's distracting from me in the image and just kind of clean, especially if you're going to use any of these photos on your website, your social media accounts, as far as having your headshot there, resumes, etc. You want to keep it as simple and clean. You are the focus. Your face is the focus. Your smile is the focus. So you don't want to distract from that at all. Awesome. And so we're going to actually start with, I think we'll start with this portrait because I just really like my smile in it. And we're also going to be editing in Adobe Creative Cloud, which I'm really excited about because the last time I talked to y'all, we talked about all the new updates in Lightroom. I still think I said Adobe Creative Cloud. I meant Lightroom Creative Cloud. And so I want to be able to talk to y'all a little bit more about those different features that I now use regularly in my workflow. So we'll touch into that as well. So one of the first things that I want to make sure we talk about is profiles. I like to play around with my color profiles just to see if I can get a solid base for my image. This was shot completely raw, which I suggest you always do if you're shooting as a photographer, shoot raw. So in that way you have so much information that's captured in the file and in the pixels that you can play around with them as freely as you want when you're editing either in Lightroom or Photoshop. And so what you will see here is you have the profiles. It's just says the current profile is just Adobe Color, but there's also other profiles that are listed here. And you can even click on Browse All profiles if you want to look at more of them. Usually in this case, I will usually go towards portrait or neutral, but those it kind of makes the photo really flat. So I don't think I'm going to go there. I really like Vivid and what Vivid is doing to my skin. If you know me, I'm also really big about skin tones and complexions. And so I really love the way Vivid looks, but just going to go over so you can see what these different profiles are doing to our photo. So we have color, monochrome, landscape. I think I look a little bit too orange here, just a tad bit. Neutral, standard, and Vivid. So the difference between, let's look at landscape and Vivid. So I feel like, I don't know if you can see the difference really. I see that my skin is a little bit more neutral here opposed to really bright and orange here. So I like the Vivid preset, or excuse me, color profile. So that is what I'm going to use for this image. Let's see. So the first thing I'm always going to do is I'm going to focus on my exposure, light, contrast, etc., just to make sure I'm properly lit. When I did shoot this image, another step on my guide is to figure out what proper lighting you want to use. I love natural light. And so usually when I am shooting, I am just standing in front of a large window and I'm just kind of letting that kind of do its thing for me. But in this studio, there was a window, but it wasn't enough light on me. So I did use a strobe with just a large softbox on it. So I think I put this in the guide as well. I like to use, if I'm using studio lighting, I might use one or two lighting setup. And if I'm placing it, I'm going to place it at an angle, maybe to the side at an angle facing down towards me. So the light is kind of hitting me and distributing. And I had a window to the side of me as well that was kind of filling in some more light as well. And so I had the strobe with a large softbox, and then it was just kind of giving me, with the softbox, it was giving me really soft lighting, opposed to direct, harsh light, which is what I usually like to look for in my portraits as well. So, and if you guys have any questions, my chat box is not loading properly. I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing anything, but it's just okay. Bam, there we go. Now I got it. Okay, cool. Let me see if I'm seeing any comments or questions, because I don't want to miss anything. I want to make sure I am connecting with y'all all the way. Let's see, works well with a solid background, actually. Love the pink and yellow. Thank you so much. Pastel-y, I love that. I love pastel colors, definitely. It is a bright green dress. It looks yellow in the photo, but it is a bright green dress. And yep, I just think, again, I think I saw a comment that said, I love your self-image positivity. I feel like that's particularly difficult as a photographer and an artist. And I think that's why I'm really big on self-portraiture, is because it's really important for me to make my clients feel comfortable. I feel like there's ways that I make myself feel comfortable in front of the camera. So I try to do that for them as well. And so thank y'all so much for the comments. If you have any questions, throw it in the chat. I will love to answer them as they come in. So we're just starting with lighting here. I think my skin is nicely exposed, which is great. So that's it before, and that's what we're currently looking at right now. Contrast, I'm going to bring down the contrast a little bit. I think it was a little too much contrast. And sometimes the other thing I will say is just play around with the sliders. I always say this because I don't think that there is any rule book to a great image. I just like to play around and just see what my eyes navigate more towards. And that just allows me to have that creative freedom. I don't want to come in here and keep myself in a box. Sometimes I'll do something different. I don't have, like, this is my general workflow, but things can change as you're going. So just play around the sliders and see what you get. You might go in with one idea for a photo, but maybe you want to play with some colors. Maybe you want to make it more contrasty, more of a stronger image, or something lighter and airy. Just play around with your exposure, your contrast, highlights. If you want to play with the point and curve, you can do that as well. I don't often go here because it kind of scares me a little bit. I tend to just focus up here and get the exposure right where I want it before going into my color. Awesome. Let's see. So I'm seeing some questions. Come on, y'all, go dropping comments or questions in the chat. I love to see it. Someone said, Pixie Pooh said, I've had to learn how to pose and things like this year and be more confident when taking pictures. So definitely loving the info you're sharing. Agreed. I had to do the same thing. Like, I was the most awkward person in front of the camera. And so I had to kind of learn how to pose, and just feeling comfortable in my body and my skin is a huge part of it. I think that self-portraiture is a sense of vulnerability. And so making yourself feel vulnerable in front of the camera and understanding how I was able to do that for myself, I found that I was able to be a greater supporter for my clients, and making them feel more comfortable in front of the camera. I see another question. Oh, I said it correctly. Yay, I'm glad. Ryan asked, are there any tips or tricks to make others feel comfortable in front of the camera? What ones do you use for self-portraiture? The first thing is the mood that you're creating. So I love to bring music on sets. I think music is the quickest way to people's hearts. And so I'll usually ask my client, what kind of music do they want to listen to? What kind of music puts them in their mood? There's usually some kind of song or something. Like, if you throw on a certain, I don't know, let's say for me, it's Burna Boy. If you put Burna Boy on, my mood, my spirit instantly lifted. So I think music is a great way, showing your clients the photos as you're going. So in the beginning of the shoot, they might feel a little bit uncomfortable, but as they're going, you'll see that they'll start to loosen up. When you're showing them the portraits, I like to think of myself as being someone's greatest hype woman. So I will always hype you up, giving you feedback as you're going. Oh, you look great. Oh, touch your hair this way. And just communicating. You want to make sure you're talking to your client. You don't want your client standing there and just like, oh no, I don't know what I'm doing or what I look like. So communicate with your client, show them the photos throughout the process, play some of their favorite music. Don't take yourself too seriously. And that's going to help make them feel more comfortable and confident in the photo. Perfect. So if you have any other questions, drop them in the chat, but we can keep moving forward here. My skin looks really nice, so I'm going to leave that alone. The one thing I do want to do first, I think before I go anywhere else, I'm actually going to create a mask, and I'm going to go to background. And this has probably, I think I said it last time. I love the new masking feature of mask background. I love it because it's just so easier to create the layer mask. It does it almost literally perfectly, especially with my braids, the way that it's still like so clean. I absolutely love. And so I might play around with the background to see if I want to change anything. And again, I'm just messing with my sliders. Let's see. Okay, I want that a little brighter. I like that. I want to mess with my blacks. Ooh, yeah, bring a little bit more pink in there. Love it, love it, love it. Sometimes, oh, another great thing. If you didn't want the pink and you wanted to play around, you can also change the colors. Now you can see here, now I'm noticing it did get a little bit of my nail, which I don't want. So I'm going to stay in that pink-ish area. But again, you can mess around with the hue of the color that you pick. So I'm actually going to go for, let's see. Yeah, I like that color a little bit better. That's really nice. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Yeah, okay, let's go there. So let's see what that before. So that's the before, and that's the after. And then I think I'm going to leave that as is right now. The other thing you want to do is I'm going to actually create another mask, and I'm going to create one for the subject, which is actually, no, that's not what I wanted to do. People. There we go. So then that way I can pick what I want to do. I think overall I'm fine. I might do some teeth whitening. I mean, my teeth already look really nice, but you know. Oh, I subtracted it. Dang it. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, let's actually delete this mask. Delete. No, 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 no. That's not what I wanted to do, girl. Hold on. I just wanted to delete mask 2. There we go. Mask 1 is still intact. Great, great, great. So now I'm actually, you know what I think I'm going to do instead? I know there is a preset for teeth. So we're just going to go ahead and do that. Whiten teeth. See, my life is simple now. Bam, my teeth is white. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I created the mask for that. I might click on enhance eyes. Yep. I love to enhance my eyes, make sure they look really crisp and really beautiful. And I think that is all I'm going to do there. So I'm going to click out of presets. And I'm going to go back to this background. This background's a little too pink for my liking. And then you'll see here, these are the masks for my teeth as well as my eyes in case I wanted to go and make it brighter, change it up a little bit or whatever the case might be. I think I might take down and you know what? No, I'm going to leave it bright. Why not? Okay, so this is what our portrait is looking like thus far. This is again the before, which, you know, she's cute. She looks good. But then it's just like, bam, she's arrived. Like she's here. And so it feels more radiant, more clean. I just love the look of it. I don't think I'm going to do, actually might come in and zoom in to my face. So this is a little awkward, you know, editing your face like this on live, but hey, it's what I signed up to do. I'm going to go ahead and go into spot healing. There are some few small blemishes that I just want to go ahead and clean up. So I'm just going to make some cleanup. I think I'm using the content aware. Yeah, I am, which I actually really like because I think it does a really good job in cleaning up skin. Now, I don't know if that was anyone's intention or if it's just me that wants to do that, you know? It might just be me, but hey, you make do with what you have, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of click some of these small spots out. And I'm not gonna do too much because, you know, I think I'm cool the way I look. So I think ooh, girl, she look good. Don't she look good? Oh my gosh. You gotta be your biggest hype woman, because who's gonna hype you up if you can't hype yourself up? That's how I feel about life. If you can't hype yourself up, you can't rely on nobody else to do it. So you gotta be your number one fan. So I think everything looks good so far. Penny said I would not survive without content aware. Neither would I. Like, I would not. Once content aware became a thing, like, she was my girl. Like, I love that tool. I use it for obviously cleaning up distracting people or things in my background. I have used it for skin in quick instances like that. So I just feel like it's an easy, quick tool. Cheryl, thank you so much for your pointers. Loving it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I like that you guys like these the positivity. I'm in a really good mood today. You know, it's the beginning of the week. It's a nice day. I hope that y'all feel the same. Okay, so now we're gonna move into color grading. So sometimes I will move into color grading to just kind of tone my image and just play around with it. So I might have something now and then go into my color grading and be like, yeah, we're changing it up completely. So I love the color grading wheels, because I think they're just really great to play around with, quickly see how adding colors to your shadows, highlights, and midtones just kind of can evolve and completely transform your image. I'm gonna start with my shadows. Let's do that. Let's start with the shadows. And I'm gonna go ahead and play around with it, see if I like anything. I don't think I'm gonna do anything with shadows because I don't want to look, yeah. I think I like the way I looked previously. So I'm gonna leave the shadows alone right now. Let's see if we wanna add any color to the highlights. Okay, right there. I think kind of toned down the background a little bit, which I kind of like. And then midtones. And one tip that I always, when I'm using the wheels, sometimes I just go all the way out and I just see what it's doing to my photo all entirely. Now, obviously, this is extreme, but I might see something that I like and then I pull back and I can decide how much of that I want. So I can be like, okay, I wanted a little cooler in the highlights, or, you know, I could start out here, say, I kind of like where this is going, and then pull back towards the center to pick how much of that color I want present. So I'm going to keep it there because I really like it bright and warm. And that is our before, and that is our after. The last thing that I think I'm going to do for this image is crop it in a little bit, because she got a lot of headspace. And if this is going on, you know, let's say it's going on Instagram, I might keep a little bit of that headspace so that way it can show up in that little circle icon. But, you know, I don't want the headspace to be the star of the show. I want me to be the star. So I'm going to crop it in so that way you can see me a bit more. And yeah, how are we feeling about this image, y'all? Let me go back to it. Hold on. The smile is it's giving Colgate. Like, it's giving, it's giving Colgate. It's giving, what's another one? Crest. I think I'm feeling it so far. So I like that photo. I'm going to leave this portrait as is. Again, let's go ahead and look at that before and that after. And the great thing that I also love about editing in Lightroom is that if you are editing batch photos, so you can see I have a lot of images of myself right here. If you want to just take some edits from one area and paste it somewhere else, you can do so. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Command C on my computer, which is going to copy my settings. Actually, let me see. So I can go to, I'll go to photo and I'll click on choose edit settings. So this way I can see what someone said Invisalign. Yep. Fun fact, I've never had braces or Invisalign or anything. I got one crooked tooth up in there, which y'all don't need to see, but I'm pretty proud of my teeth. So perfect. So if you want to copy your settings over, you can, 4 out of 5 dentists recommend the grid. Y'all are killing me right now. If you want to copy settings over, so another great thing is, again, like I mentioned, if you're editing batch photos, you don't have to edit each individual photo. That kind of gets exhausting, tiring, and we love to save our time over here, okay? Our time means everything. So I'm going to go ahead and copy settings. So I'm not going to copy the crop. I'm not going to copy the healing just because of it. Those are quick things that I can just go do per photo, but I am going to copy over the lighting. So my exposure, contrast, the things that I did there, because the lighting in each of these photos is exactly the same. So that is the other great thing with shooting in studio, is that if you're going to be editing multiple photos, it's keeping the lighting controlled. I did use natural light, but I shot these images probably all in the span of like 10 minutes. So the lighting didn't change from outside. But if you're shooting in a controlled space, you can keep this lighting the same. That way you're expecting to edit. At least you know that the lighting has been the same. You don't have to worry about that being different from image to image. Opposed to if you were shooting outdoors, maybe you're shooting and the lighting at the beginning of sunset is different from when it actually sunsets, of course. And you're still shooting at that point. So you have different lighting setups, kind of experiences there. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this over. And then I also copied over my color grading. And then one thing I am going to click on is masking. So when I have played around with this, I don't know if y'all have, but Lightroom also does a really great job of copying over your mask. So I think that's really great because I want my teeth to shine like this in every photo. I want my eyes to glisten in the way that they are in every photo. So I'm going to come over here. Let's see what other images I have. So here's one. I'm going to go ahead and press Command V, or I think you can just go to photo and so there should be like a paste button, right? Yeah, paste edits. So you can paste all of your settings and bam. So there you go. So then that's the first one. That's the second one. So you can already see that they are identical in regards to the edit. I don't have anything I want to change here. I might just come in and just take my hashtag contour aware tool and just kind of clean up some little spots that I have on my face, just, I don't want that little white spot there. Just a little bit. All right, I'm gonna leave that as is. And there you go. You can see that's the beginning and that's these good genes be genie. Shout out to my parents. Shout out to them. Hashtag contour aware. Yep. Make sure y'all go ahead. That's the hashtag for today. If anybody asks you, what's your day? How'd your day go? Just talk about contour aware tool. That changes everything. All right, so Control V, and then you can see, so actually I'm gonna redo that. Let's go ahead and reset these edits. So the one thing you'll see here, so I think it pasted like the lighting, the color grading first, and then it did the masking for the background. So it took a quick second there, but I also, you can see that it kind of also carried over the same edit that I had on my first original photo. So then let's go here. I'm going to crop it in again, just a tad bit. Again, I am the star of the show here. And then if I wanted to, I would go ahead and clean up. This one of these is my current profile picture, I think. This one, it's like, it's giving she's staring into your soul. Like it's just giving. So this is another image here, but yeah. So I think I'm going to go ahead and stop there with this set of images and we'll move into another set. Here's another one more because I feel like this one was really giving Colgate once it pasted everything. Yeah, that smile is just $1 million smile, $1 million smile. Awesome. So we're going to move down into some other ones here. Again, what you'll notice in all of these photos is that I tried to keep my background relatively clean if I can. If you're using backdrops, that's the easiest way to do that, right? Like it's just simple to have a clean color backdrop, seamless backdrop, or if you don't want to use seamless backdrops, you can use fabrics. That is one thing I love to do. If you look at any of the self-portraits that I have on my website, they were all with fabrics. Like I just went to Joann's, picked up a fabric, and then use that as my backdrop, or go to your local fabric store as well. So fabrics are a great option just because they are a lot cheaper because you can just go and I'll probably just go get 2 yards of a fabric, and that's what I would use as a backdrop in my photo, opposed to investing in a full seamless backdrop that I need to kind of put somewhere else. Someone said, Idara, I need to have a recording of you speaking for when I'm feeling low and it's oh Izzy. You know, that's one of the things I want to do. I want a little motivational podcast or something, you know, really out here speaking for y'all, because y'all, we can't be, you know, there are days I'm having a little bit of seasonal depression at sometimes, but you know, sometimes I got to speak to myself. I look at myself in the mirror and I say, not today. You got to hype yourself up. So Izzy, if you ever need me to hype you up, call me over here. Okay. Let me know. I got you. Another question, what do you look for in a successful backdrop? What I look for is, I think probably for me, the first thing I'm looking for is color. And so I just like to look for just kind of see what kind of colors that I don't already have. And that's why I like to go to fabrics first, because again, like I was saying, they're cheaper. They are really, really great when it comes to just getting multiple different fabrics, different colors, and you can store them easily as well. Whereas if you have seamless backdrops, if you've seen them in studios, you usually have the large rolls. And the issue that I have with those large rolls is like, I got space now, but I don't want to fill up this whole like room with rolls of paper. I like to fold up my fabric and put it away. So that's one thing. I like to look for muted colors. Yes. So Ryan asked, muted colors you later push up or saturate backgrounds. I kind of do both. I think that's the joy in like kind of keeping yourself free to whatever kind of speaks your mind. I can do something that's more muted and I can kind of boost it up later, or I can say something, I can pick up something that's more saturated and I want my image to be bright. It kind of depends on the mood or what I'm going for. So if you look at my self-portraits, this one was just kind of a muted white backdrop. So I did bring this up. This was a Bridgerton inspired one. I really wanted a floral backdrop, so I found that there. These are just regular fabrics. So if you're using fabrics, I like to go for velvet because I think that's really great. I like to use satin too, but the problem with satin at times, and again, this is okay, this is the look that you're going for, is that you will get like some of these wrinkles and stuff in the photo. Sometimes I like that because I feel like it adds a bit of dimension to the image. But there can be times that you just want a solid background like this. So choosing the fabric that you're using is really important because you want to be mindful of like, what is your goal? And I'm a little lazy. Like if I have this little wrinkle right here, it's not me that's going to edit it out. I'm just not going to do it. But sometimes I love it because in this photo, I feel like it adds a little bit of character to the image as well. So I tend to leave it too. So it just kind of depends on what you're going for. I love colors, so sometimes I tend to grab for more bright, saturated colors. But sometimes when it comes to maybe a headshot that I have for Instagram, or not even Instagram, maybe on my resume or something like that, it tends to be a little bit more muted. So, but at the end of the day, you can really do whatever you want. I don't think there's really, for me, there's no rules to how to go about or what colors to pick. Just make sure your background is clean. Is just the goal. Is just making sure that it's clean if you can be. And these photos, I think this was like a bamboo kind of background that they had in the studio. So I did use this. And then in this photo, you'll see that did have some mirrors, and so I probably wouldn't use these photos, but I also felt like it's fine because I didn't feel like it was too distracting. So, but again, I tend to go for just backdrops that are just one and seamless and just like one consistent look or feel. Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and pull another self-portrait for us to edit. We still have a bit of time. So let's see. Another fun fact for you guys when you're taking your self-portraits as well is you can use I use my phone as a timer, as a remote. And so I shoot with a Canon EOS R, and a lot of cameras now have like that Bluetooth feature where you can connect your phone. If you're using Canon, they have the Canon app and you can connect it to your camera. And so that way you can see what you're doing as you're shooting. That's why you're seeing that my phone is here. I try to push it out. Obviously, in the majority of the shots, it didn't meet the cut here. And so if I actually like this photo, I would just kind of clone or remove content or where probably, if I don't know if this is too big, but we could try to remove that there. So let's go ahead and edit. Let's see. We'll do this photo. Actually, no, I want to do this one. Oh, yes. It's a Canon app. So it's not a third-party app. I can't remember what it's called, but if you type in Canon, type in Canon in the App Store, it should pop up. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So again, we're gonna start with our color profiles. See, landscape be doing that. Landscape I don't be touching. I'm assuming that's for actual like landscape photos. Excuse me. In this case, I think I'm gonna stick with, so standard's kind of flat. Vivid is doing a little too much. A little too bold. Portrait. I think I'm gonna keep it in Adobe Color. I'm gonna go back. Yes, thank you so much, Oliver. Canon Camera Connect is the name of the app. I'm gonna bring down the exposure a tad bit. Contrast, bring that up. I said bring down, I actually ended up bringing it up by a little bit. We're gonna mess with our highlights. Shadows again. And again, I'm just messing with my slider going back and forth. I'm gonna bring up the shadows a tad bit. Whites. I'm not gonna do much with my whites. And then blacks, I'm gonna leave this at 0 actually. I don't want to change the color temperature. I think it looks fine as is, which is really easy there. I am gonna go ahead and let's do some masking again. We'll do the background. Gonna brighten up the background a little bit so it's a bit more brighter. I like that. It kind of makes me pop a little bit more there. Let's do this. I don't want to do too much with the whites. We'll leave that as is. Let's see if adding any color kind of is nice. I feel like that's just distracting. Nah, I liked it as it was, nice and clean in that sense. So we're gonna leave that as is. And so you guys can see here that before and that after. So it's slight, but it's still there. I'm gonna go back here to my presets, gonna go ahead and whiten my teeth and enhance my eyes. Cool, cool, cool. So those masks should show up here. Yep, they did. Again, Colgate. Come on, look at that smile. Look at that smile. Okay, let's go back. Let's relax, Idara. Let's relax. Let's see what else we're gonna do here. I'm gonna go back down. I think my skin looks well. So sometimes I would come down to my HSL sliders to see if I want to mess with anything here. It tends to be like what I would start to do, or I would tend to come here for skin tones. So if you look at skin tones, usually the colors that will impact them are red, orange, and yellow. So if you felt like, excuse me, you were looking more too orange, too warm, things of that nature, or too red, you could play around with the sliders and just kind of see what that looks like. I think I was a little bit too orange. I'm gonna bring down the orange a little bit. And then I'm also gonna go to my, let's see what luminance does. So you can also mess with luminance if you want it to like bring it down a little bit. Sometimes I like this if I feel like my highlights are a little bit too much and I want to deepen and enrich in my skin tone. You know what I'm saying? So I might bring that down a little. That's a little too much. Right there. Let's do right there. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Are your HSL adjustments normally picture specific, or do you make the same modification to the entire shoot? Sometimes they're picture specific. Well, okay. So again, it depends. So if in this case, I feel like my lighting overall was okay when it came to my skin. Like I don't feel like I missed the mark really here. And so I don't have to do much kind of color correction. So usually when I'm going into HSL, my HSL slider, I might be doing some color correction. So in this case, anything I do to this image, I'll likely do to the rest because they were all shot in the same condition. But what I will say is that like what I'm doing in this set of photos would be different from this set of photos, which is different from this set of photos. So it's all because each specific photo has a different setup, different colors that are included there, different lighting setup, etc. Like this one, I wasn't even near the window. This was just all studio light, opposed to the first photos that had natural light in them. But if I'm adjusting anything in my sliders, I'll start with the red, orange, and yellows as my first step and just play around with them. I usually leave hue alone. So I might do saturation if I felt like, I was looking too orange or something of that sort. So I might play around with that first. And then I would go into luminance if I wanted to deepen my skin tone a little bit more. And if I felt like the highlights were a little bit too overpowering. The other thing is if I wanted to, let's say with this dress, which I should be able to do, if I go into color let's do color. It might pick up the dress as being yellow. Yeah. So if I wanted to brighten the dress, in this case, I could increase the saturation there. And you can see that now it's looking more like that highlighter green or completely muted. So I can play around that. I could play around with the hue. And so that's another example of what you could do as well. You're welcome, Ryan. Let me know if you got any other questions. All right. So this is the one we're on, right? Yes. So that is our before, that is our after. Shout out to that teeth feature, man. I'm not gonna stop talking about my teeth. I'm just so shocked right now. Okay, so no, I don't want to do anything there to my mid-tone shadows, highlights maybe. Usually I like to add color to my Idar, use your words. Usually I like to add color to my highlights. And so let's see. I kind of like that. And then you can increase or decrease the color. I'm not going to increase it there. The other thing I didn't talk about, sometimes it's already sharpened, so I'm good there. So anything else I want to do with this image? Not really for now. So that is our before, that is our after. And I try not to do too much when I'm doing, especially if I'm planning to purpose an image for a headshot or something like that. I don't want to do actually it just depends, because I have some self-portraits that are very colorful and very bright, and that's what I use as my headshot on social media. But maybe I wouldn't use it on a resume. I want something more cleaner. I probably would put this on a resume. And so you can kind of decide what the purpose of your photo is as well. I'm going to come in here and clean some of this up. Let's see. Shout out to that content aware. And let's see. I'm gonna add another mask in here. Let's do people. Well, I'm the only person. I just don't want to do my full body. I want to do, you know what? Let's do the entire person. That was unnecessary. I could have just clicked on subject. Let's see. I might. Do I want to lift my exposure up a little bit? No, I don't actually. That's good and expose that way. I'm going to lift up the shadow, or the contrast a little bit. And again, sometimes I just play around with this until I get something that I like visually. No, what am I doing? Okay, yeah, I want to add a little bit. Just bring down my blacks a little bit. Okay, great. So I think that is it there. So there's our before, there is our after. And then if I want to quickly show you guys, let's go to click that one and this one. So these are two different images. I'm going to go ahead and copy the edits over here. So photo, copy, or I would just press Command C. I'm going to copy over my masking as well, not the healing. And then I'm going to click on the photo I'm going to paste them on, which is the second photo on this side. Control V, and it's going to go ahead and there you go. Edit that photo for you. So, and then I would just come in at this point, content aware, and clean up some of these little spots here. Bam. Just a little bit there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let's see, and then I can also paste these on other photos as well. Excuse me, sorry guys. I don't know if I'm like have a cold coming on or what that is, but the other thing as well, when it comes to posing, I know we talked a little bit about feeling comfortable and confident with posing. One of the things I also like to do is create boards. So if I see images, whether this is on Instagram, Pinterest, I like to collect images and make mood boards. And so that way you have some images to reflect back to. And if you're struggling with posing, you can kind of just have a quick mood board on your phone of just like a small collection of images that you can refer back to, be like, okay, I want to pose this way or pose that way. And so that's another option there as well. Let's see, I'm going to come back here to content aware. Let's clean all of this up. Let me know if you guys have any questions left. We have about maybe 10 to 12 minutes left in the stream. And I am going to show you guys what these images could look like on a resume. All right. Beautiful. Let's see. Awesome. And let's just do one more. Since we have a little bit of time, I'll do one more image here. So we have, of these ones here, I think I really like this one. She looks real innocent, real cute, you know, like, hey, hire me, you know? Go ahead and hire me, pay me. All right, let's see. And then lastly, these weren't meant to be for a resume. These was, I was just honestly just feeling myself. So I want to go ahead and see which other ones I want to edit. Let's do this off looking one. Where'd it go? Was it this one? Yeah. Let's do this one. So I'm going to go ahead and come back here. Let's look at these. I didn't be doing a little bit too much, but I'm going to take her and remove that contrast. Yeah. So that looks good to me. I'm not going to mess with that too much. Contrast, shadows, etc. Blacks. All right, cool. I feel that melanin is doing what it's meant to be doing. Oh, relax. Where's the image? See, sometimes I just keep messing around and I don't know how I did that. Okay, cool. And then let's see. I think that the dress is great. I think it's fine there. I might mess with the hue just because we haven't done that yet. Make it a little bit more green. Not that that's so much of that yellow. Nah. Okay, cool. That's nice there. I'm gonna go down to our shadow, midtones, and highlights. See if we wanna, I might like a little bit of this orange. Or is she gonna make me look too, is that orange gonna do too much? It might be a little bit too much. Let's see. Let's go there. That's barely a difference, but you know, sometimes my eye sees those little itty bitty changes. I'm gonna come back here. Let's go to color, orange, reduce that saturation a little bit. Let's go to highlights. I love adding like a yellow greenish tone to my highlights. I feel like it creates like a vintage look and feel to the image. That's just me though. Someone can easily tell me, you know, that isn't the case, but that is how I feel about that. And then midtones as well. Let's see. Sometimes I don't add any colors to my midtones because I just feel like she be doing a lot, but in some cases it's good. And I actually like how that kind of looks. Let's see. Let's see. No, I think I'm gonna go without it. You know, I think I'll leave it. Let's see. Yeah, I like that. And then sharpen And let's see if we want to crop this a little bit. Yep, beautiful. Okay, yeah, thank you. All right, yeah. So it's not just me. Sometimes when you add that that specific color spectrum, it gives that oldie vintage vibe, and I love it. Like I tend to like do that to a lot of my image. It just makes it feel, I don't know if it's the feeling of it feeling more like film or what. I can't talk about film because film scares me a little bit. But it gives that oldie vibe for sure. So I like to add that kind of like yellowish, greenish kind of tone to my image as well. So where did that image go? So there you go. That's that portrait there. Okay, Pixie, you feel me. You feel me because I thought you picking up what I was putting down. Yes, it's the golden glow. It is. It is the golden glow. All right, perfect, y'all. So this is the before. This is our after. So we've edited a number of different portraits. Again, like I showed y'all before, if I wanted to take these edits and put them on another image, I could do that. I'm not going to do that because we have a couple minutes left. One example I wanted to show you guys again is you can put these pictures on your social media. So you'll see here, I already have one of the self-portraits, one of the self-portraits as my profile picture on my Instagram. I think that when you have a solid color background, it just looks so clean on social media. Like sometimes I'd be looking at people's photos and I wanted a headshot that felt very like clean and professional, creatively professional for me. And so I just really love how the pink just really makes me pop out, and it just feels clean and solid there. But you'll see here I have some different self-portraits, and these have all been profile pictures at one point. But I do kind of like to navigate more towards a solid background opposed to something that's a bit more busier. This is great for more of an art piece. Ooh, I gotta log in, which we're not gonna do right now. But for a headshot, I think this is really nice, clean, and solid there. If you want to, you could also update your website. So this is a past headshot that I use. I still use it at times, but you want to make sure that you use your headshots on your website as well. Keep them clean. You are the focus. People want to make sure they see you very, very well. And so this was one I used a satin backdrop actually. And so in this case, like I mentioned before, you do have some of these little wrinkles and kind of like textures in the backdrop, but I liked it in this case. I felt like it was very I just felt like it was very artistic, and it adds some kind of texture to the shot. And then if you wanted to, another great option is that Adobe has, with Adobe Express, you can create resumes. Why did I blank on that? You can create resumes. So resumes are really, really great for, especially as a creative. So I'm utilizing a creative resume myself now. And I think it's really great because if you have a headshot that you take the headshot, put on your resume, put some of the creative work that you've done, links to projects, etc. And so I want to encourage y'all to use Adobe Express, and that way you can take one of these different templates, upload your image on there, and then go ahead and fill out your entire resume. So that's something really cool and great that you can do there as well. Awesome. We have a couple minutes left, so let me know if y'all have any last minute questions, comments, anything of that sort. And then, like I mentioned at the beginning, I did create a guide for you guys. So I hope you guys can see this, but this is linked. If we can put the link for thank you so much for the source file. Just a quick link to some tips that I try to consider when I am shooting my self-portraits. First tip is picking out your outfit, especially with the New Year's coming out. I really want y'all to show up and show out, okay? So pick an outfit that you feel comfortable and confident in. If you don't want to do color, neutrals are always, 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 always. Okay, let's see. There's a question. You have a type of bloom glow on yourself. How did you do that? Ooh, Pixie. So I feel like, okay, that's actually a really good question. Nobody's ever asked me if I have like, or has mentioned a glow. So that kind of, I don't know if that was meant to be a little compliment, but it got me smiling over here. But I think what really helped is the what's it called? The color profile that I use. So I used Vivid, and I feel like that adds like a really great glow to your image. And so I did that. There are also presets. And so if you go into presets, you'll see that there are some pop, this warm pop. It's a little doing a lot on these images because they're already edited. So I have used like vibrant and glow in the past. No, I've not used glow. That's a lie. I've not used glow yet. But sometimes I will go ahead and just add that way. Or honestly, I just play around with my highlights, and I don't really can't tell you what specifically I do. Okay, yeah, wait, I think it's natural. Here I am trying to find an explanation. I think it might be natural. It might be my moisturizer. I have used some of those adaptive presets in the past, but if you're talking about pictures on my profile, it just might be my skin, girl. I really don't have another explanation for it. Oh my goodness, that's funny. But I do like to play around with the highlights. And I think in this place as well, what was really nice for the overall lighting of the photo um was that I used what's it called? Studio lights. So I was able to control the lighting that was coming in. If another great way to make yourself glow too, if you are shooting, whether in the studio or outdoors, use reflectors. And so if you have like a gold reflector, a silver reflector, you can use that. I oftentimes like to use gold reflectors because they're really great with bouncing that light back onto you. So I hope that answered all your guys' questions. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Instagram, on my website, etc. But please check out this guide that I created for y'all. And thank you so much for joining our holiday week. This is the kickoff for it. So we have so many lives that are going to be prepared throughout the whole week. So tune in. If you missed any of the lives that happened today, of course, you can tune in on our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to that YouTube channel as well, Adobe Live on YouTube, so you can check out all the lives that happened today and catch everything else that occurs this week. Awesome. Thank y'all so much and have a wonderful week.